stop playing Dehya wrong. Well, okay, you're not really playing her wrong, she does have a lot of problems, but hear me out. You pulled for Dehya and now you regret everything, because so do I. I'm kidding, hear me out. Or perhaps you don't really regret getting her, but you're a bit disappointed by her performance. Maybe even very disappointed. You give her the best artifacts, the best weapon, but it still takes her 5 minutes to defeat a Hydro Slime. And it's still not even defeated. Don't worry, I got you, I think. Right. In this video, we're gonna take a look at several different builds and team comps for Dehya, comparing the results and determining the best one for her. And I think I found the perfect build and the perfect team for Dehya, so make sure to watch until the end. Enjoy the video. Now, Dehya is one of the most neglected characters by Hoyoverse. A character with a great story, personality, design, but an extremely underwhelming kit. Can she be fixed? Can she be actually viable? We're about to find out, but quick disclaimer, this video will contain never before seen amounts of copium. Please just let me have this. As a Dehya main, as a Dehya fan, let me cope, let me cook. I don't care who can do this better than her. We all know this, just let me have this, okay? Now Dehya can be played in several different ways. She can be used as a main DPS, sub DPS, support, and depending on how you play her and who you play her with, her build can change significantly. When it comes to Dehya's artifacts, they can change depending on the build you're going for. If you're going for a DPS Bia, generally speaking, the Emblem of Severed Fate set is her best in slot, although there are other good options for her, like Lava Walker, but I don't have a lot of pieces from it and I couldn't be bothered to farm it or level it up. Another good set could be the Crimson Witch. I did run her with a 4-piece set and she was doing fine, also with a 4-piece emblem. Or you can combine 2 and 2 options of either of these sets, combined with an attack percent set, Shimenawas or Gladiators, also Noblesse, a 2-piece Noblesse set, and also even the Dynasty of the Millilith. And we are getting a new set in the new version, which is allegedly said to be the set for Dehya. Is it gonna be her best in slot? It looks like it wouldn't surpass the Emblem of Severed Fate that much, but we'll have to wait and see for it to be released so we can test it out and see which is the best. But even if it is slightly better, it's gonna be a very minimal difference. Now when it comes to a support build for Dehya, when she just deals off-field damage, you just use her E and completely ignore her burst. You can go for a 4-piece Dynasty of the Millilith to buff your teammates' damage and go for a tankier Dehya build where she just takes a lot of the damage. And I guess if you want to go for a full-on tank Dehya build, which I did do for a little experiment, which is coming out in a video soon after this, so be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for that one because it was pretty fun, it was pretty hilarious. Do you see this, guys? Do you see? And this is not even her final form. We can go even further beyond when the new set comes out. 60k, baby. 60k. I just went for a full tank Dehya build, and mind you, this was before the new set is released, but if you want to go even further beyond, you can combine 2 pieces of the Dynasty of the Millilith set and 2 pieces of the new set, which also gives HP 20%. And when it comes to reaction-based teams, you have 2 options, either going for a Gilded Dream set, which most people have, or going for the Flower of Paradise Lost, which is generally better. But you know, if you don't have it, because the domain is pretty niche, the animal set is only needed by like Wanderer and a couple other people. So if you don't have that, you can go for Gilded, it's totally fine. Most of the times I ran her on Gilded and she performed amazingly. Or you can combine 2 and 2 pieces again, any of the EM mastery pieces. You can use a 2-set Wanderer's Troop if you have good artifacts from it. And yes, generally speaking, those are her artifacts. For the different teams I will be showing you, I will put somewhere in the corner of the screen what set I was using on her and what weapon as well. And now of course, this is not new, you've already seen it, the Clam set Dehya meme build. It's real, it exists. We're going for a full Clam set Dehya build with HP on the Sands, HP on the Goblet, and healing bonus on the Circlet, and AFK gaming. Although you can do that on too many bosses, but you know, it is a meme build, you can do it. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with that build on stream. By the way, I do stream on Twitch at least 3 times a week, so feel free to follow me on there if you want to catch more of me. And we do have a community Discord server, feel free to join, link is down in the description below. Come hang out, we'd love to have you there. When it comes to her weapons, any of the 5-star claymores are good on her. Unfortunately, the state of my weapons is tragic. Disgusting! Especially when it comes to 5-star weapons, so I don't have any 5 stars. But what other good options does she have? I found myself using the Favonia's Great Sword most times on her, even if I try to go for more offensive options like going for the Serpent Spine for the extra crit rate because the passive effect doesn't really work that well with her, or going with the Fish Great Sword. I always found myself struggling to get my burst back, so I always ended up going back to the Favonia's Great Sword. So if you have that, you can go with that. There's another 4-star claymore. It's a limited weapon banner claymore, the Akomaro, so if you have that, then I think that is a good option for her as well. Also the Black Leaf Slasher that you can get from the shop using Star Glitter. And for reaction based teams, when you're stacking EM on her, when you're going for those EM artifacts, the new claymore we just got from the Windbloom event is generally the best in slot for her, and you can do some amazing things with that. And this is very copium, only mad people do this, and you've probably already noticed it in my weapon inventory. Again, if you're going for a full tank meme Dehya build, the bell, yes, the bell, I did it. I did that. Again, stay tuned for a video that is gonna come out after this one, hopefully, relatively soon. Yeah. But yes, overall, generally speaking, when it comes to DPS, Dehya build, or even off-field support build, I always found myself using the Favonia's Great Sword on her. If I used her as a DPS, it would help with her energy recharge and help her get her burst back, and if you use her as a support, you can use the Favonias to proc particles for your party members and help them get their burst back fast enough. But if you have her signature weapon, of course, use that, or any other of the 5-star claymores, they are great as well. So just use whatever you have and whatever you think suits her best. Also, another thing I wanted to mention before we get started with everything is that if you go to the feedback tab over here and you click on it, you will then get directed to your browser, and if you go here under key focus on feedback on special categories parts 2 and you click on that and you go to character Dehya, you can fill out a form that is asking you about everything about her normal attacks, about her elemental skill, her burst, her design, her passives, constellations. They're asking you for feedback regarding everything. So if you're still hoping and coping that they fix her, go fill it out. As of recording, it is still available. Hopefully I will publish this video within a couple days, so you can go and submit that form if it is still there. Let's hope so. Now, her most famous team, the team everyone recommends, Mono Pyro. For Mono Pyro, you normally pair her with Xiangling, Kazuha, and Bennett. And now these three alone are broken. They are carrying the game. They're carrying everyone's asses. So yeah, okay, let's give this team a little spin. When it comes to Mono Pyro teams, I tried several different builds for Dehya. I tried her on a 4-piece Crimson Witch as well as a 4-piece Emblem set. And I also tried having her on Attack Percent Sans or ER Sans depending on the build I was running. When it comes to the weapons, I tried several different weapons out, the Favonia's Great Sword or some of the more offensive options such as the Serpent Spine or the Fish Claymore. And I found that she worked the best with a 4-piece Emblem set with Attack Percent Sans and Favonia's Great Sword that is specifically for my build because it provided the most damage and she could relatively easily get her burst back without too much trouble. When I tried her out with some of the more offensive options like Serpent Spine or the Fish Claymore, I found myself struggling to get my burst back on time and swapping between characters, and it was a mess. The footage you see here is from one of the Abyss clears I did on stream, and here I also had Xiangling on a Favonia Spear to make sure that I don't have any troubles with getting my burst back, and that worked pretty well. Although I probably missed out on some damage, but it's fine. Pretty much all the teams I tried could clear chambers 1 and 3 relatively fast, but they would be a bit slower on chamber 2 as they were lacking some damage, so it would take them around 2 minutes to clear the chamber, which is a bit on the slower side. But overall, Mono Pyro is a good choice if you don't have any other choice, but is it my go-to for Dehya specifically? No, that's not the case. She isn't even that bad, Dehya. Yeah, she does work, she is getting carried a lot, but she can work if you want to make her work. Ouch, ouch, guys. I know you like me, but please, chill, relax. we were way faster. We were way faster. We got it in 53 seconds. In terms of other teams, you could run Dehya as a no-field support. I use her as a no-field support for a team like this, with Ayato applying being the main DPS and Dehya occasionally applying pyro off-field. Again, I ran her with the Favonia's Greatsword, but with this time with the Tenacity of the Millilith set instead, where I stacked HP on the Sands, Goblet and Circlet. Was that a great idea? I don't know, but she had over 50k HP. She was getting carried like the princess she is. Of course, she deserves it. But there was something interesting that I found. You would occasionally apply pyro for vaporize, yeah, no big deal. But the thing that she was most useful for was tanking the damage. In the old Abyss, I have some old footage from the previous Abyss where it was the 3 Kenki on one of the floors. She was tanking the damage like it was nothing, and with her self-healing abilities, I could easily swap to Dehya, tank the damage, she would heal herself. In the meantime, I swapped to someone else, deal damage, and we somehow did it. I don't know how well. I mean, she got carried by 3 amazing characters, but she somehow did it. Kazuha, don't die. Okay, we're not even gonna worry about escaping the ice prison. We're just gonna brute force our way through. Okay, actually, pause. We're pausing. Dehya, tank for a little bit. Thank you. You have a lot of HP. Thank you. Queen. Yes, Queen. Okay, actually, we just need to not die. Pause. Winnable. Yes, this is definitely winnable. We just need to not be up and run away from the attacks. We just need to tank the attacks. This is what Dehya is here for, guys. Now I have seen her used together with Mona for some vaporize as a main DPS. I don't have Mona after 2.5 years of playing, so I couldn't test that out. As far as other teams, there's Burn Melt with Ganyu. I don't have a Ganyu on this account, so again something I couldn't test. But I tried to test a Burn Melt team with Rosaria, which kinda didn't go very well. I probably should have stuck to just a melt team instead. I mean, you can just see for yourself. But let's get to the juicy part. Everyone has been saying you can run Dehya for Burgeon teams, but they aren't that great. I beg to differ. So I ran Dehya on the 4-piece Gilded of Dreams set, trying to stack as much EM as possible on the flower and the feather. Could be more, but this is what we're working with. And then Elemental Mastery on the Sands, Goblet and Circlet. As for Dehya's overall stats, she has 855 EM. Her other stats don't really matter that much because we're here for the Burgeon and everything else that you're about to see. Ayato, Nahida and Bennett in and of themselves are amazing characters on their own, but I felt like Dehya wasn't a waste of space in the team. She wasn't useless, she actually added, she actually provided to the overall team performance, and they managed to clear all of the floors pretty fast. They didn't have much trouble with the Kenki, and then for Chamber 3, they could get it in just about a minute. You could also swap out Bennett for Yao Yao for the Dendro Resonance, which gives you extra Elemental Mastery, and with that Dehya's EM gets to 905, and I did test what her potential maximum Burgeon damage is with this team, and the maximum we've gotten so far, it was 63.2k, which is higher than anything I've ever seen. Now to reach these numbers, I did run her on a Flower of Paradise Lost set, which is generally slightly better than the Gilded Dreams, and I did have a bit more EM on that set because I had better pieces available, like 50 EM extra. And now the theme that I've been eagerly waiting to present to you guys consists of these 3 wonderful characters, but we swap Yao Yao or Bennett or whoever you're running for your Burgeon team, and instead we put Cookie. Now this team is nothing new. People have tried it out, they've tested it, but not many people have talked too much about it. So the way this team works, we have Dehya on her full EM build, we have Ayato being gorgeous and amazing, Nahida with a Deepwood set, and I'm running Cookie on a Flower of Paradise Lost set with a lot of EM. Okay, let me show you what this team can do. Why limit yourself to just one reaction. That's not really fun, is it? When you can instead have every reaction happening all at the same time and just destroy everything. Why would you do that? What I found about this team is that it kind of works perfectly. You don't really struggle with waiting for someone to get their burst back. You kind of switch between characters, you swap them out. It's very quick swappy, feels very satisfying to use. The thing with this team is that it just works. It just works really well. Everyone works with one another. Yes, it is a very specific team. Can Ayato be replaced? Probably with Nilo or Kokomi, maybe even Child, but the problem is I don't have any of those characters, so I couldn't test it out. Nahida is just overpowered. If you are running reaction-based teams and you want to take them to the next level, pull for Nahida. She's getting a rerun soon. It's gonna be... you won't regret it. So this team, Burgerbloom, hyperburgeon, or whatever you want to call it, Fruit Loops, Rainbow, Skittles, stew, soup, salad, everything all in once. You get every reaction all at the same time, and it feels very satisfying to use. And all of these characters, they just work together really well. I very rarely find myself switching between characters, wondering, who has their skill up, who is off cooldown, who has their burst already. It happens very incredibly rarely with this team. I just swapped from one character to another. Using Dehya on field with her burst is not even a waste of damage and time. She contributes to the overall team's damage. And before you say, oh, but how about you substitute her with Thoma? It's gonna be the same, maybe even better. Shut the fuck up, okay? I did try this out. I did try out the Thoma team. I just substituted Dehya with Thoma. I gave him the exact same artifacts, with him being on the Kitan Cross Spear. And yes, that team did perform relatively equal to the Dehya team. Although, the one thing I did notice is that Thoma, a little bit squishy. He can be a tiny little bit squishy. And when you run him on a full EM build, his shield is practically non-existent. So it's not like it helps that much. Whereas Dehya, she has more HP on a full EM build. She can tank the damage, she has a self-heal, she mitigates the overall damage from the team. You get resistance to interruption with her. I found that, okay, yes, I am coping, but shut up. I found that in situations like this, where you need a little bit of extra oomph, a little bit of extra punch, Dehya actually works really well. Because when you run her in a team like this with Cookie, who is great for hyperburgeon reactions, who provides decent heals, she's not the best healer out there unless you put her on a full healer build, in which case you'll be missing out on a lot of damage. So in situations like this, when Dehya can take a little bit of the damage herself and then heal herself at the same time, I found that works really well. And now I know what a lot of you are gonna say, oh, but I don't have Ayato and Nahida, I can't run this team. Well, you may be correct. This is a very niche team. Can Ayato be replaced with someone else? Perhaps with Nilo and Kokomi, maybe even Child. The problem is I don't have any of these characters, so I couldn't test them out. I apologize. Dehya doesn't really work with Xingqiu and Yelan, although you're ignoring her burst for the most part. You can just use her as an off-field support and keep attacking, applying Hydro with Xingqiu and Yelan. I did try a Xingqiu team. I tried to find an F2P team. I ran a Xingqiu and Dendro Traveler team. That was relatively okay, but they weren't performing as great. There was always a lot of downtime. I found myself swapping between characters, waiting for cooldowns, for bursts, and stuff like that. So it wasn't really very optimal. Nahida, she's hard to be replaced as well. She's just amazing. If you are running a lot of reaction-based teams, I highly recommend you pull for her in her upcoming rerun, because she's amazing. She makes so many characters shine. You see, 50, 60k Burgeons, 40k, 50k Hyperblooms. All of that wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for Nahida. Dendro is just cracked out of its mind, and the more reactions you can run, the better. Another team I tried was running Fisho, Dendro Traveler, and Barbara. It kinda worked, but again it wasn't great, they were kinda slow, and also Barbara, when you apply Hydro on yourself, you just get frozen to death every opportunity you get. You can test it out, substitute some of the characters with whatever you have, see if it works, if it doesn't. But yes, but if you have Ayato and Nahira, this team can be very fun, and if you don't have Dehya, you can substitute Thoma, I guess. Although this is a Dehya video, let me cope. You can substitute it with Thoma and just have every reaction happening at the same time, and it's very fun, very amazing. Yes. Overall, what did we learn today? Nothing. This was originally supposed to be a Dehya versus Diluc type of video and situation, but I got so carried away testing Dehya teams that I figured, okay, let the queen have her moment, let her have her spotlight. But if you would perhaps like to see a video like that where I compare Dehya and Diluc in different teams and scenarios, then let me know, I would gladly make it. But yes, this was just one long video of me coping and hoping that there is actual hope for Dehya. Again, feel free to fill out the feedback form if you're still hoping for any Dehya buffs. I don't know if you're gonna get any good news. There is a new artifact set coming out in the next version. Is it gonna be the best set for Dehya? I don't know. It doesn't, it's an HP percent set, so it will mostly be focused on her being as a main DPS rather than focusing on elemental reactions. Will that make her actually better? I don't know, we have to wait and see. Will she get better support? Baisha and Kave are coming out, are they gonna work well with Dehya? Well, we'll have to wait and find out. But for now, this is it. I still want to believe that she will get her redemption arc soon enough. Maybe they have something in store for her, so I can stop being high on copium and actually enjoy playing her normally. Although she is fun to play, but she has a lot of problems, so many problems. Oh god, why? But yes, enough coping. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, comment something down below. Pineapple, I don't know, just say something if you made it this far into the video. I really appreciate it, and it helps the channel out a lot. But yes, have fun, take care, keep smiling, lots of love, and I will see you guys soon. Bye bye. Bye.